Mexico, take one.
So we left at some ungodly early hour. I think it was like 5 in the morning.
Our flight was good. We got there with no issues.
So we landed, and as we're going through the airport, there was this big-ass sign that said, Superman, as seen on An Amazing Race. My mother walks straight past it. Blinders on. Couldn't see a damn thing. So we had to actually pull her back, and she's like, I want to do this. And then they were giving away free drinks, which is always a plus.
We got a nice cab, van. We got to our place.
And me and my brother were standing around as Mom and Dad were checking in. And this lady walked in, and she had a 6-pack of beer, and Daryl just kind of looked at her and looked at me and was like, that's how you do it here in Mexico. And I guess the lady like saw my brother look at me and give him like me the like yeah. So she turned to my brother and goes, do you want a beer? So within, you know, maybe an hour of being in Mexico, my brother had gotten alcohol at the airport and then again in the lobby, all for free. So, you know, he was hitting it good off in Mexico. After we went up and we looked at the rooms were like, there were 2 rooms side by side with like a adjoining door. So when you walked into the first room, to your left was the kitchen, and we didn't really use that kitchen. It was just more like kept a couple things. There was like the living room. Daddy used that a lot. And then there was Mommy and Daddy's room with the attached bathroom, and they had their own little balcony. And then to the left was me and Cookie's room. We shared the queen size bed, and then we had our own bathroom. And then if you went and walked across the hall, you would walk in and you would see the living area where Daryl mainly used. I did a couple homeworks in there, so that was our second living room area. And then if you continued on, you would see the kitchen. This is the main kitchen we used. It was much more like brighter, so we used that. And then to the right of that was Daryl and Zach's room. So they each had their own bed. They had their own TV in there. And then they also had a bathroom, which was identical to the one Cookie and I had. So they had a sink, a nice shower. And then they had a really big balcony on their side instead of ours. So there was a big door that led out to it. And the balcony was gorgeous. It was just huge. In the back there was a nice little jacuzzi, and then we had pretty much a great ocean view, and then if you looked over the edge you could see the pool. So it was really, really pretty. Then we just went down for lunch because we were starving.
We grabbed some lunch, which took a long time to come because Mexican lunches take a long time.
We went shopping at the little market in the mall, where I bought a $250 candy bar. Peso dollar. It was a Butterfinger, in case anybody's wondering.
And we met up with Joe and Carolyn for dinner, and we ate at
Malapan.
So on Sunday morning we got up and we went over to the local mall, and we got breakfast there at the Moon Cafe, I believe it was called. And I had really good French toast. I like really enjoyed it. It was like French toast with cinnamon and bananas. It was really, really good. I know Daryl had an Oreo milkshake which he enjoyed, and the food was just really good there. So, points there.
Then I went swimming down the crocodile's slides.
How was the crocodile?
It was fabulous.
Fabulous.
So after we did the crocodile, we were in the water, and they're like, we're gonna start a game of water polo. So we were like, why not? We'll play water polo. So this one guy jumps in the pool, and he's marking all these people with these blue markers. This other girl, she's like, wait, I need people on my team. So she's like marking people with green markers. So that blue marker starts coming towards us, and she's like, no, no, no. And she like comes over to us and she marks us with green marker. And so we end up on the green team, and I'm like, oh my god, we're totally gonna lose because the blue team has so many more people. But whatever, let's play. So we play the game.
And very early on it was very clear that our team was so dominant because we were just that good. Go green.
And we just end up dominating the whole game. I ended up getting 4 goals, but goal number 2, I kind of was by the goal, and the dude like threw the ball and it bounced off and it hit me in the face and it went in. So I got 4 goals, but you know, one was a complete accident.
The final was 18-3.
And on Sunday we went to the welcome ceremony, so they kind of told you all about the activities that were going on. So like, hey, this is our staff, these are who you're going to see for the week, these are the people to look out for, these are the events coming up. And so we did that, and then they had this really cool dancers come on stage, and the dancers did like traditional dances, and so we watched that. Of course, after the welcome ceremony was going on, the Giants game was on, and even though we're in Mexico, there's no way the Dye family is going to miss the Giants game. So instead of going out to dinner, we went to the local bar and we watched Odell Beckham make his amazing catch live from Mexico while we ate dinner, and then after that we went to bed because we were all tired.
Monday night after Cookie and Zach got there, we signed everybody up for Mexican Fiesta. So we walked in, they gave us these little shot glasses for free tequila, and everybody had a shot at tequila. And then they had entire Mexican spread, all different Mexican foods. And then for entertainment, they had the dancers come out in sombreros and different Mexican outfits and do different Mexican dances. Then they had a mariachi band play for us while we were eating dinner.
Like a good old macchiato. Whatever. Mariachi? I'm Italian.
When we were at the Mexican Fiesta, as we were sitting there waiting, having dinner, a balloon man was coming by, and everybody gets all excited because he decides what kind of hat he's going to make. Everybody got a hat of some sort.
He handed Daryl and Zach both balloons that were sealed shut, and Daryl was actually able to break the seal and get it to blow up, and the guy was like, "Oh, you actually did it." So he added it to Daryl's hat, and Daryl had this ridiculously long hat that just kept going into the pool because it was so long. I originally had a hat with a little flower on it, but the problem was the guy made it a little too small for my head, so it was really hurting my head. So he made Mom's a little bigger, so I asked Mom to switch with me. So I took her heart one and she took my flower one, and she really liked the flower one, so that actually ended up working out in my favor.
Daddy had a huge hat that said, "I'm so horny." Everybody cracked up on that. Joe and Carolyn's had connecting hats. We have pictures of them, but we had fun. So we all bought tickets for a boat, which is a little plastic boat, which they pull with strings. And everybody picked their number. I picked number 6. My boat was almost a winner and then blew it out in the last quarter. I don't know. They said the guy was cheating. I don't know. Too far away for me to see. Everybody lost, nobody won, we were all disappointed. 10 people, we couldn't get one of the 6 boats between the 10 of us, but it was a good time.
At the end of the night, they had this long pole going into the pool where people would run down the pole and try to get the bottle of tequila, and most people fell in and got wet. Tuesday, we went fishing. We rented a 35-foot sport fisherman called Barbara, Captain Juan, first mate Juan, and second mate Eddie, little 12-year-old boy, who kind of helped us fishing. So we started fishing. In the first hour and a half, we had a boat ride. Zach had a nibble but lost the fish. So we decided to change, put our rally caps on. Everybody put their hat on backwards. Darryl sat in the chair, and he caught the first fish. Big jack.
I've never been fishing before. My left arm was dead. But I got this silly thing on the deck. And it flopped around, and there's some pictures on it, and I got some blood on my jacket.
Then they went again, and Zach caught the second fish. And then Dave, Joe's brother-in-law, caught the third fish. And then Pepsi Joe, Papa Joe, caught a fish. And I caught a fish. So we had 5 fish. And then the second time around, Darryl, Zach, and Dave each caught a fish. And after that, we called it quits. We had about 100 pounds, maybe more, maybe 150 pounds of fish, and 8 big ones. So we had a good time on Tuesday.
So while the boys were out fishing, catching our dinner, me, Mom, and Cookie all went to the spa. But me and Mom went separately from Cookie because Cookie was at some informational session. So me and Mom went in, and inside the spa there's a nice little jacuzzi, a steam room, so we went in there for a little while. And then we obviously went and got our massages done, and it was fabulous, it was lovely, I loved it. And then I came back to have lunch, and the boys were there, so then from there we kind of all just chilled out for a little bit, and then we ended up going to dinner. All the fish eaters sat to the further end of the table. All the non-fish eaters, which would be me, sat to this side of the table, and it was really nice restaurant.
We sat outside, it was gorgeous. Actually, the inside of the restaurant, there was only one table, everybody sat outside. It's very nice.
We took a taxi ride to the flea market, and when we got to the flea market, we told Darryl and Missy no sombreros.
5 minutes after my children were in the town, they had big sombreros.
The first thing my brother sees is sombreros. And he goes, Mo, come here. And he throws this black sombrero on my head. Everyone starts taking pictures, and he goes, which one do you like? And I was like, oh, well, I really like the blue one, but they didn't have one in my size. So I grabbed the pink one because it was the color I liked the most that was there. Because I knew he wanted the purple one, I wasn't going to take that from him. So I put that on my head, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this works. And my whole thing was I wanted to buy sombreros at the very end because I didn't want to carry it around all day. I didn't want to be like a tourist target because, you know, the second you have a giant sombrero on your head, they know you're a tourist, so they're going to come after you for your money. But my brother just literally hands the guy money and was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, what? Like, I did not think we were buying those sombreros at that moment, but, you know, it's the one thing me and Daryl promised Mom and Dad we were going to do, even though they didn't want to. So, you know, to piss Mom and Dad off, Daryl just bought the sombreros right away. And of course, Mom's sitting there shaking her head like, of course, you idiot. And Daryl's like, I'm happy with my sombrero. So we got sombreros. And for Mom and Dad, because I know they're shaking their heads right now, we told you we were getting sombreros way, like 2 years ago when you told us we were going to Mexico. So don't sit there and be like, no, I can't believe they did that. So yeah, love you.
We walked up and down the flea market, had a couple items here and there. So it's a lot of local flair for the town.
Oh my gosh, lunch in the town. Oh my gosh.
Ended up eating at an Irish restaurant. Big mistake. Other than the free beer. We were there an hour and 10 minutes just to get a sandwich. On Wednesday, we went to Rhythm of the Night. All word that your mother would get seasick, but she was a trooper. And went on a catamaran, across the river, across the bay, actually. Then we saw a lot of neat little things. The actors were stealth. They were kind of like hiding in the trees and coming up on you all of a sudden. Guy was dressed as a tree. Guy was dressed as a crab. We saw a mermaid and a siren as we came onto the island. We followed the candle lights into a nice little dinner. They put us in a nice little hut, just our family, all 10 of us.
And as a girl who watched Survivor as a kid, it very much reminded me of one of the rewards they would go on, and it was just gorgeous. Like, there were all these lanterns everywhere, and there were all these like wooden tables, and it was very like picturesque.
Had a nice buffet, and then we went in to see the show. Saw them twirl fire, and saw the Incas and the Crazy Chief. So we had a lot of fun on the Rhythm of the Nights.
Thursday was the best day.
Thursday was Thanksgiving, and we did Thanksgiving a little differently this year. Instead of having, big full belly and just kind of sitting around, we decided to go on the extreme adventure.
Thursday had to be downstairs at 7 a.m., I believe it was. In our bathing suits, ready to go. It was me, Mo, Zach, Dave Dose, and my mother. Cookie too, because we're adding her too. We all hopped the boats, got to the place. We're all like, yay, we made it on time. And then the guy tells us, okay, we need your license. And we're like, what do you need license for? Oh, to drive the ATVs. At which point, me, Cookie, and Dave Dose look at each other and go, how fast can you run? We actually ran down to the dock, got a guy who was not supposed to be working to drive us back, and then sit at the dock while we ran to back to the hotel and get our licenses. We got back in time, and then we sat around for another half hour or so. So I was like, great, I ran for nothing. Grr. We got, I think it was like a 45-minute drive. We went all the way to wherever.
So we got there, we got all our equipment on, and then we met our instructors, and then we set off. So we did a bunch of these like mini zip lines. So you would like zip line to like one platform, and then from that platform you zip line to another one, and you kept going. And so that was really fun. And then we hit the cargo nets. So you pretty much like, it's like, I don't know, maybe 40 feet up. It's just straight cargo net, and the guy's like, I can't rescue this from here, so it's either you do it or you don't. It's all or nothing. So Mommy, Cookie, and Dave Dose kind of bailed on us, and Daryl and Zach were doing it, so I'm like, all right, I gotta do this. So I did it, and I was actually really proud of myself. And then, I don't have any pictures of this, but you like walked across this tightrope thing, and then you did on like this little slide, and you slid down. It was like a platform where you like, your feet stood here, and like you were here, you were standing up like this, and then you just kind of like slid down. It was kind of cool. And then, we kept going. So right after that, after your arms are killing because you just climbed like all the way up to the top, they had the T-bar one. So all your weight, you held onto the T-bar and you like would go. But the funny thing about this one is the guy's pretty much like, he's like, all right, turn around and like lean back to go. And so like right as you're about to go back and there's no way you can go forward, he's like, oh my God, no, I'm not ready for you to leave. And like, I saw him do this to a guy before me. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized he was just messing with the other guy. So me and Daryl watched him do it to this guy, all these people, like maybe like, I'd say like 3 people before us. And then Daryl goes and he does it to Daryl, and Daryl fell for it, even though he watched all these other people do it. And then there was this one point where we did racing. You could like race another person on the zip lines, and Mommy and Cookie went, and then me and Daryl were going after them. And so like we're sitting there, and Mom got stuck on the zip line, and she couldn't do like the hand over thing, which you're supposed to like climb forward. So the guys had to like go out and rescue her. So me and Daryl were like sitting there like, oh my gosh, can we go? Because we're waiting, we're excited. So we did the ATVs. I was with Daryl, and we were behind Mom and Dave.
And we have decided that Dave Dose, being from South Carolina, drives like he's from South Carolina.
So Daryl saw the puddle and was just like, we're going for it, Mo. So of course I had to throw my hands in the air. And then of course we go through the puddle and I get mud everywhere. And I'm like, oh, there's mud all over. And so we were going by, we keep going, and then there's a second puddle coming up, and we see that Ed, who was our cameraman, was there. And Daryl's like, all right, Mo, let's go. So he decided to copy me, and he threw his hands in the air too. But what you don't know is that like Ed, who was our cameraman, was standing on like a rock, like right there. So as we were going through the puddle, Daryl like had his hands in the air, so he wasn't controlling the car. So he lost control of the car, and we just started going like full speed right on at this guy. So in the next picture, you see me, I'm like, oh my god, because I like realized what's happening. So I put my hands down, and Daryl like grabs the wheel and he spins it, and he gets control back. But for like, and then I was like, okay, I can relax now. So like those 3 pictures are really funny, because like there's one where I'm like, oh my god, and the other one's like, okay, I'm good, we're in control now. So then we did like a hike, which was kind of high, and then we did some archery up there, and then we went on the Superman, which was really, really cool. So you had to get like harnessed in properly, so like you would get like this weird harness, you felt like kind of like an Oompa Loompa walking around, and then they would like do things that would strap you in, and then they're like, okay, like fall forward, and then they would like hook you in, and you would like lay down to go. So this is what it looked like for us. So as you can see, it was like really, really gorgeous. So I'll let you take in this viewpoint and enjoy watching us go down Superman.
Go for about a full minute, reaching speeds of 70 miles an hour. It was fast. It was fun.
I will. Thank you. Goodbye, all.
Here we go!
And then we did a water slide, which Dave Dose opted out of.
We came back, and then we quickly showered and dressed and went down to the Thanksgiving meal.
And if you ever have a chance to have American Thanksgiving in another country, don't. It was an experience.
I got actual turkey, which was not that bad. Their interpretation of stuffing, let me just say, it's sketchy stuffing. Like it looked like ground meat. It was black. I don't know what it was. You'd have to ask one of the others what it tastes like, because there was no way I was touching it because it was really sketchy.
Sketchy.
Stuffing was pretty bad.
But other than that, it was okay. It was decent. Obviously, it's nothing like Daddy's meal at home, but you know, it was. We did have turkey on Thanksgiving.
The next day was Friday, and the old fogies were doing some sort of hidden Mexico tour, and us cool kids were doing what they call flyboard.
Okay, so flyboards, basically how it works is there's a jet ski, and then they take a hose from like the end of the jet ski and they attach it to the board. So you can't go up unless the jet ski is moving. So they have control over, you know, if you're going or not.
When we got there were two people just finishing up, so we got to kind of see what they were doing and kind of figure it out. And then me and Zach went first, and Mo stayed on the little raft, if you want to call it that, and was kind of watching us. Zach was out of the water first, and we had about a half hour. I attempted a backflip. I think I sort of half nailed it. And then Mo went.
So then I got on to the jet ski, and I, you know, got all hooked in, and then I started going. And so the hardest thing for me was you have to keep a flat foot when you're doing this, because that's how, you know, you stay balanced. And his thing is, don't think about balancing, just kind of think about going up. And so my problem is I would get to a top and I would point my feet, and that would send you forward. And that's fine, but like you reach a certain point and then you just go straight down. So the guy was kind of like, think of it more as like a dance move. So back and forth, not too fast, but not too slow. So I kind of just put a beat in my head, so it was like, I moved my feet back and forth, and then I was finally able to get into the air after a little bit. The funny thing was, like, Daryl and Zach, like, when they fell, they were done. Like, that was it for them. Like, they were up there for a while, and then they'd fall and then have to do the whole process over again. For me, it was different, because, like, when I got to the top, I would, you know, point my feet, and then I'd go straight into the water, and then I would go, oh, I'm pointing my feet, that's why I'm going down. So I'd go onto my heels, and then I'd go straight back up. So I did a lot of, like, flying up, and then dipping myself into the water, and then standing back up, but, you know, like, not necessarily falling. And in my honest opinion, I was not fabulous at it. I had fun, I was decent. I think Daryl was probably the best out of the three of us, though. He got really high, and there's this really cool shot of him all the way up in the sky, so I'm proud of him. You go, broski!
On Friday, we went to the Hidden Mexico trip with our guide, Ruby. We spent 8 hours. We started off on a boat ride. Your mother was on a Zodiac blow-up boat going...
She did fabulous.
30 knots across the bay, and the boat was bouncing a little bit, but she did okay. Then we got on this big truck and went to the botanical gardens, where we saw some of the local plants. They gave us hibiscus tea to drink. Then we got back on the truck and they gave us beer. Taquita, or whatever. Mom liked it. And we went and saw some Indian drawings on rocks in the middle of this farm, and that's where we started getting eaten up by the bugs. Back on the truck, went to this roadside stand, got some bread, homemade bread for 5 pesos. Very good. And then we drove to this town, saw the local church, the local graveyard. They talked about the Night of the Dead and how they celebrate their dead on November 2nd, a big party in the graveyard. And then after that, we went to a tequila factory, and we were told how to drink tequila so it wouldn't burn. And I ended up buying a good bottle of tequila, and the guy took the leftover tequila and rubbed it on your mom's legs and got rid of her stings from the mosquitoes. And we drove back to Puerto Vallarta and had a good day.
Mom really wanted to hit the casino before she left, and this was her last opportunity. So I went to the casino with my son and my nephew. Dave and Melissa walked back home with Cookie, and after an hour, I walked out with about $50, which I was very, very happy. And Daryl and Zachary lost all theirs, but I had a great time. Saturday was get up, pack, get out, come home. Again, lucky our flights were all good, and we're home, and it was a great trip with great memories.
And that was Mexico, 2014. That's a wrap.
Mom and Debbie, cut.
Get it right up in front.
Take two.
Hang on.
On Friday,
Wait, hang on. We got Tara talking.
And then there were. Oh hey, what are you doing here?
Listening.
Hey,
You can't go in frame.
hey, Ma, remember that time? Not that you'll ever know, because you're off frame. Frame ends here. You're done. You're out of frame.
Yep, quiet on set.
Can I get a crash? Good enough. Here's in the lobby for the ride at 7.
Yo!
why is it always you? Why? Why don't you understand that quiet on set?
Bob, come here. Come sit in my frame.
It's just got that music now. Alright, take me for the top, Thursday.
Oh, all right.
Thanksgiving.
I smell like a Christmas tree.
And Daryl's interrupting my interview, of course.
Am I in your frame?
You might be, yeah. Come down here, you're definitely in my frame.
Am I in your frame?
You're in my frame.
I'm in the frame.
We're talking about sketchy Thanksgiving stuffing.
Oh, that was disgusting.
See, I told you. It was disgusting.
I smell.
Where we go Tuesday night?
Fish tank.
A fish place.
Where?
There was a cargo net, which Mom cheaped out of because she was scared. I don't know.
What?
Did you climb the cargo net?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I won that argument.
What cream on hot cocoa is normal?
No.
Yes.
No.
Googling it.
Google that shit. And all I remember is I was watching Canadian TV in Mexico. And I was watching Canadian football. It was very awkward. They ran before the ball was snapped. There should be a flag on the play. What the hell is this crap? I really want to go to a Tim Hortons. Anybody? No? We did get a kick-ass picture of me and Mo.
Insert here.
Insert here. Time that right, too. Like a Christmas. No, don't cut it. This will be great banter.
Great banter.
Great banter.